Full Melt Show is intended for a mature audience. It contains adult themes, adult content, and sometimes adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Full Melt.
For the first time since the sale of marijuana became legal in Colorado, the numbers are in, and they're looking pretty good. What? You were expecting a pun?
Marijuana raised $3.5 million in taxes and fees for Colorado in the first month of legal sales. That's from a report just released by the State Department of Revenue.
The total sales for recreational pot hit $14 million. Of that, the state collected $2 million. The other $1.5 million in taxes came from medical marijuana sales. According to the Los Angeles Times, the revenue came from 3 taxes: a 10% retail sales tax, a 15% excise tax, and a 2.9% state sales tax. As good as the numbers sound, a writer for The Atlantic isn't impressed, saying Governor John Hickenlooper's 2014-2015 budget predicted about $98 million in sales taxes, with $40 million set aside for school construction. At the current rate, Colorado won't even reach that level. An executive director of the Department of Revenue told Bloomberg something different, though, saying the first month of sales for recreational marijuana fell in line with expectations. We expect clear revenue patterns will emerge by April and plan to incorporate this data into future forecasts. Either way, the numbers were enough to convince Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom of California that there are benefits to legalizing marijuana. He told KCBS,
"Somehow we can demonstrate some real conviction on this, because I know a lot of Republicans up in Sacramento agree on this. We don't need to go to the voters. We can legislate this."
For Colorado, though, it seems like everyone wants a piece of those sales. While $40 million is already committed to schools, Al Jazeera reports state police chiefs are asking for more money, too. A member of the Joint Budget Committee said the whole world wants to belly up to this trough. Governor Hickenlooper Ballpark's recreational cannabis sales will hit $610 million by the 2015 fiscal year. For Newsy, I'm Bryce Sanders.
Are you high? What are you talking about?
This is the Full Melt.
The Full Melt Show. A marijuana discussion about news, culture, politics, and lifestyle. FullMelt.com. Toll free. 844-420-TALK. 844-420-TALK.
Holding legislators accountable. Wearing the flag on your sleeve. Welcome to the Full Melt Show. We are live from the PetPain.com studios once again for another edition of the program. As you see by the story at the top of our show, there is money to be made in regulating marijuana. I mean, there's money in this. It's tax money galore. Fixing the roads, fixing the schools, whatever your state has an ill for where money needs to fill that gap, there is a plan coming forth by somebody somewhere in your state about how marijuana is going to pay for that need. This discussion is happening right now in the halls of every legislature in every state across this union of ours. They're doing it because this is new revenue. I mean, this is the kind of thing that that people, as a Republican, remember, I think most of the state governor's offices, I think most of the state legislatures, and I think, obviously, our entire federal government, from a legislative standpoint, is controlled by conservative Republicans. And for this group of people to have new money to spend that they didn't have to defend is irresistible. I mean, this is like, seriously, you're going to give me candy? You're giving me candy? Oh, it's candy. You have some cherry candy. I want the cherry candy. They haven't tasted this in a long time. This is like being Rip Van Winkle and getting, a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop for the first time in 25 years after you wake up out of your slumbering coma. I mean, this is tasty, beyond compare. These taste buds haven't had the taste of this kind of sweetness, this kind of tartness, this kind of flavor in a long time. And so we're salivating just thinking about the sweetness in the center of the table. You mean that's real? This is not a mirage. We're Republicans and we get to spend some money. And we get to decide where it goes now. Oh, go. I haven't even thought. Where's the wish list? Get the wish list out. Come on. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to splash this out. Oh, I'm sure we can spend some money on the schools and the roads and a whole bunch of other crap. This is what legislators are doing right now because they see the writing on the wall. They see that people where they have this ability are taking this issue up as a ballot petition. You know why? Because as legislators, they wouldn't touch it. And so finally, after a lot of work and a lot of education and a lot of just saying no as jurors in courtrooms, please don't convict anybody ever of any marijuana crime. It's not worth the tax dollars. It's not worth taking your time as a juror to come in and decide this issue. You're accomplishing no good. In fact, if anything, you might be making it worse. Don't be convicting those people. I don't care what he looks like or what she looks like or what their background is or what you might think they're doing or not doing. If it's before you as a juror and it's just a pot crime, not guilty. Not guilty. It's just certainly it's called jury nullification. Nullify this. And that's what people did. In Colorado, this is what started the issue there for both medical and recreational marijuana in Colorado. I'm busting myself. I now have to give Am I Legalized an additional $100 because I was not quoting, and I said the words, one of the magic words that I can't say. Recreational marijuana. I can't say that. So now that's $100 now I got to give those guys. I don't mind. You don't want to call it that. You want to call it retail cannabis because that's what it is. Let's just call it what it is. Popular referring to that term. You talk about these people are making money in Colorado, and they didn't get there until as jurists in their state, they decided to say no. No. Another pot case, not guilty. Next pot case, not guilty. Next pot case, not guilty. Prosecutor's head spinning. I got to get elected next year. Guess what I'm not bringing before you anymore? Pot cases. Man, that's 4 losses in a row. I had 12 more, but I've scrapped them. I've set them aside. Let's see if we get to plead out. We'll offer them an extra sweet plea because I am not asking this jury to convict you. Because they already said they're not going to do it. They did it 4 times before you. I'm not bringing you up and worsening my record. I got to run on that record. This doesn't happen in states unless as people, collectively, we decide we're not going to prosecute people for marijuana crimes. If the prosecutor's still trying to do it, the legislature's still trying to do it, we as citizens aren't going to let you do it anymore. Not as defendants, not as jurors, not as citizens. It's over. That's the only reason. First off, medical marijuana. Because remember, Colorado is still a very traditionally red conservative state from a political standpoint. I think Colorado is one of those states where they're really more socially liberal, but fiscally conservative. Michigan's not like that. Michigan is just a bunch of crazy, white trash people running. They're rich white trash, I'm telling you. But in Michigan, it's mostly a bunch of white trash bastards out there, Really. It's white trash. It's human trash. It's running the government here. My opinion, got to spread it. Ding, ding, ding. IMHO. So all I'm saying is that if in places where this got done, it was started with jurists saying no. If you're a juror, tell them no. Pot case, next. Another pot case, next. Next, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. Then you get the law. Now you got the prosecutor's attention because he realizes anybody that takes a marijuana crime of any sort to trial before a jury is going to get a no vote, not guilty. And he's not going to take those cases before jurors. It just won't happen anymore. He already knows what the answer is. He has to ask you for the answer, and if you tell him no, he's going to accept that. He will bring no more cases before you. He might test the waters once in a while. Maybe this is a new jury pool. No, the answer is still no, Mr. Prosecutor. No, no, no. So they get this done, and then now they got this. Now they got people's attention. See, if they're not going to benefit, if they can't make money from the prosecution of these cases, these criminal cases for pot, where's the money coming from? It's got to come from somewhere. We lost money here now. We've spent money, and we've got no convictions. We've got money wasted. Nothing's coming back into, there's no court cost. There's no fine. None of this is coming back in. What do we do? Got to find an answer. The answer is partner up with the people who want to legalize. That's the answer. That's how that's most of the reason why this got done in Colorado, at least. I know this conversation was had in various convoluted ways in Washington State and in Oregon. Different subjects, different gears, different mechanisms bringing those things about. But in Colorado, that's how this went down. And this is how this needs to go down in other places. If you are a citizen in a state that's just saying no to pot, about, either decriminalizing or making it recreational or providing for a broad-based, not just an oil-based or not just a non-smokable based. What about the people who need to consume this orally? You're taking them right out of the kitty. Broad-based marijuana legislation for the medical patients. If you're not going to get it from your legislature and you have a ballot petition capability available to you, go out and run it. Put the language together. It's going to take a legislative team, a legal team to help you do that. Put the language together, get it before the people that have to approve that language, announce yourself, organize as a nonprofit, collect money, collect signatures, get it on the ballot. Get it on the ballot. It's a difficult process. It takes some perseverance. It takes the will to organize. It takes an audience willing to organize with you. And it will take your money. You can organize all day long, and you could probably get it done without any money, but it's not likely. Because even if you collect the signatures, even if you manage to get through the hoops and even through the disqualification of signatures process, you still have managed to get enough signatures to get it on the ballot. Then you got to run a media campaign. I mean, there's a media campaign that's got to follow on this, especially if there's a competing ballot petition or a no campaign. You've got to tell people why they need to vote for your law. And so when we come back from the break, I got to tell you about California. There's news from California talking about another legalized petition coming forth again for the coming election cycle. That and more news, culture, and entertainment next.
You're getting the full melt.
Got something to hide? Canalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Canalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Canalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at Canalock.com. Visit Canalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
Hey, it's Steve Green for the Sweet Leaf in Flint, because now getting safe access to medical cannabis patients in Flint, Michigan is never more welcoming. Presenting the Sweet Leaf, a brand new patient experience bringing 12 carefully selected caregivers housed in 9 separate offices to distinctly assist you with their knowledge and reputation for excellent patient care. Classes and training coming soon in the large community room. Check it out in person, 400 South Door Highway, or call 810-259-2571. The Sweet Leaf Center in Flint, 810-259-2571. 571.
Get growing with GrowMax. Indoor, outdoor, beginner, or a warehouse full of Gavitas, probiotic organics, or huge production with Max Power monster aeroponics systems. We can help you rock it. YouTube GrowMax with 2 X's. Customer service is why we're blowing up. And I'm Dave. My cell number is 906-221-2111. We also specialize in electrical and HVAC and new double-ended bulb technology. 906-221-2111. Get growing. GrowMax.
Get the beach bong ready for sunshine and sandy beaches in Negril, Jamaica this November as the High Times Cannabis Cup moves from Amsterdam to the Caribbean. Your trip starts with the absolute best rates on airfare, hotel, events, and all your Cannabis Cup travel needs at travelcannabiscup.com. Come stay with us, relax in the sun, play in the sand, and smoke down with the cool people, man. Get to the High Times Jamaica Cannabis Cup. Best travel prices right now at travelcannabiscup.com.
Hi, and welcome to Performance Bicycle. For over 30 years, people who love to ride have chosen Performance as their number one choice for all their cycling needs. Enjoy all your rides with Performance Bicycle, where great rides begin.
Hey, this is Tommy Chong, and you're listening to The Full Melt Show.
It's The Full Melt Radio Show.
Climbing up the charts, this new song for Beck. It's Dreams. I love this music. We're back in the PetPain.com studios talking to you live if you want to join us on the Canalock phone lines. Canalock.com sponsors our phones, 1-844-420-TALK. Listen, this thing about legalization is coming back forth in California. Dateline, Sacramento. This according to ContraCostaTimes.com. Proponents of the proposed ballot measure aimed at making California the fifth state to legalize pot for recreational use are a few weeks away from kicking off their November 2016 campaign, supporters said Thursday. Once the Marijuana Legalization Coalition, known as the Reform California, Reform CA, files its initiative with the state's Attorney General's office, the group can begin gathering the 365,000 valid signatures it'll need to put a proposition on the ballot, something Coalition Chairwoman Dale Sky Jones says that she's confident she can do, or that the organization can do. 4 other initiatives within the same goal. 4 other initiatives that have the same goal have already been cleared for circulation, but this is the one that's expected to attract top donors and major interest from a huge network of grassroots supporters. See, like in Michigan here, the idea is if you can get a great ballot put forward, something that people can wrap their head around, understand, have some clarity about, some decisiveness about, no gray areas. It's all cut and dry. It's spelled out right there for you. And you get enough people to contribute. Hold some fundraisers amongst your own supporters. Get your money together. Kitty it together. Put it in a pool. If that's like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, if you can manage to get to that point, now you've raised the ire of some of these other groups. You've got their eyebrows up. Oh, wait a minute. Michigan's got something going on there. They got some money behind it. They're organized. They got ballot language. Wow, wait a minute. Let's get them going. We'll give some of them some of our money. See, before they weren't even interested. This group in California, according to the Contra Costa Times, Contra Costa. It's got to be Costa Times. We've been working on the plan to make a strong run at the ballot box, said Sky Jones, the executive director of Amsterdam University, the country's first college devoted to instruction about cannabis. During a conference call with reporters, Sky Jones says she thinks it will take up to $14 million to run a successful campaign. Now, remember, this is California. But she released few details about the top donors, about who those top donors might be or what the initiative will look like, other than to say that it will seek to control, tax, and regulate recreational marijuana. The initiative would also write rules for California's decades-old medical marijuana industry, she said. California is long overdue, she said, adding that Colorado and Washington State have had few problems since voters passed similar laws in 2012. Excuse me. Voters in Alaska, Oregon, and the District of Columbia legalized recreational pot use in November. California voters rejected marijuana legalization in November of 2010, but a recent Public Policy Institute of California poll showed that attitudes on the issue have shifted, with 55% of likely voters now supporting legalization. The article reads, but as public support for the weed grows, so does the concern about underage use. The National Institute on Drug Abuse's 2014 annual survey found 34% of 10th graders and 44% of 12th graders had used marijuana. But that's a compelling case for legalization and regulation, argues Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom, a Democratic candidate for governor in 2018 and chairman of the American Civil Liberties Union Task Force on Marijuana Legalization. The group is expected to release a report with recommendations as soon as next month. The campaign's success will hinge in part on tapping into California's passion for pot legalization, and that's why Reform CA hired Joe Trippi, a veteran political consultant who became a household name a decade ago when he ran for Vermont Governor Howard Dean's presidential campaign. He ran that former campaign, I should say. On Thursday's conference call with reporters, Trippi said the group has already amassed an email list of 70,000 supporters without spending a dime on advertising. That's important. Too often people wait too long to build their digital army, said Trippi, referring to the list of supporters he plans to solicit for small donations. Our legalization effort will be well thought out, disciplined as a campaign. So this is that's the story. I mean, that's what's going on out there. They're serious. They're hardened. These guys have been around the block a couple times like we have in Michigan. No more pussyfooting around. Getting the signatures collected, getting to the ballot box, and it's going to get done. I'm telling you, I said it yesterday on yesterday's show. Sometimes I'll do that. I don't know why. I guess I come back around to the same point. When this presidential cycle happens, first off, you'll be so cross-eyed with commercial content on the radio and the TV that you won't want to turn either on for months preceding the election. Just a warning, you can't spend that much money in advertising and eat up the entire budget with political ads. All the other advertisers get crowded out by political messaging. Nearly all of them. Big Pharma owns about 80% of nighttime television news. If you turn on Big TV News 4, 6, 2, those are local. CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox. You tune those guys on. 80% of that commercial content during the news cycle, during the nightly news, the evening nightly news, is Big Pharma. Don't you think those guys are going to be edging to get into the political messaging? And if they can't have ads on because they're getting pushed out. These guys at TV and radio stations have blocked out a bunch of their sales for political campaign ads because they're quick, easy sales. They come with the money. It's already in hand. There's no selling to be done. They already know what they want to say. They already got a commercial cut. Bingo, bango. Here's your money. Play our commercial. This is when the sales teams and the radio and TV broadcasters, that whole industry, runs to the bank. And there's no interest by this group of people in limiting campaign contributions or the influence of money in politics because they get to keep it. And like I said, it's an easy sell. And you'll be sick of it by the time that it happens. But aside from that sickness, come the night of the actual election, all eyes will be peeled, won't they? We'll know by then who the Democratic candidate is, and we'll know by then who the Republican candidate is. We'll have a better picture of this view as a subject inside of that campaign, marijuana. It will be a big subject for these presidential contenders. It'll be so big, this will be something that they will have to respond and answer to in the primary. Let alone, mostly, even the last presidential election. This was not a subject that came up in the Obama administration. For the most part, wasn't reported on at all. I don't think this was asked as a question of him until after he became a viable candidate, pretty much after Oprah Winfrey's endorsement of President Obama, a then senator. Once he had that endorsement and the MoveOn.org people got behind President Obama's campaign, it sent him into the stratosphere. I mean, there's a honeymoon with this new president. When this happens this cycle round, all eyes will be peeled because this, like I said, President Obama didn't have to answer this question until the actual, the campaign itself, him against the other opponents in both years. This was asked, but it didn't get until that stage of the game. It did not affect the primary campaign races. Those were not questions asked of people in the primary races. This year, it will be front and center. It's starting right now. Now that these people have announced, Now that they've done the straw polls and gone to Iowa or opted out of that whole mess like they started doing now because they already know what the answer is, they're not going to like it. Stay away. Bad press. We didn't win good in the straw poll. It's going to be bad for supporters. They're going to stop sending money if they know we polled low. No, we're going to get low poll in the straw poll. No poll. We're not going to do that poll. Stay out of that poll. They're still going to go to Iowa. They're still doing it. This subject will be front and center, and I guess the night of the actual election itself, shows like this, programs like this, and we're gonna have extended coverage on this program with live reporting as the poll number, as those ballots get counted and they get tallied and reported on. We'll have that information from you from the horse's mouth as it happens in real time on this show. And we'll have some other stuff available by then. I don't want to jinx nothing. We got some other technological tools that will help us accomplish this goal. I've got a whole kit of tricks ready to go for that election cycle, and I will not let you down when it comes to the entertainment value. Yeah, look, everybody's going to not want to know when each state comes on or whether they do or whether they don't, how much they won or lost by, and who's got to say what about what. Because it will be a major topic. Before it was, it was always the economy. You're going to hear us a lot of stuff about economy and foreign policy and all this other stuff. But mixed in that group will be marijuana legalization and your handling of it. Let me just pitch at you a strange scenario for that cycle. Let's say you get somebody like, Huckabee, or you get somebody like, a very small chance that this happens, but I'm just saying, throwing spaghetti at the wall, pondering the issue. You get somebody like Chris Christie or Mike Huckabee or Jeb Bush on that ticket. They are not, I don't think, going to be kind to this subject as President Obama has been. They will latch this back down. They will strike out at people. They'll give Colorado, places like Colorado, these states that have already legalized, and the ones that are about to do it, they'll give them warning. They'll tell them, look, as soon as my administration takes over, the minute that law kicks into effect, we will have federal police telling you do it, and we take you to jail. We will confiscate your stuff. We will no marijuana in the United States of America for anything. No medical marijuana, no regular marijuana, no marijuana. You're all a bunch of high-ons. Cut it the F out. That's their position. If we get that and we elect a massive number of states back into this subject from a recreational standpoint, bring a whole bunch of states on from a medical standpoint, both legislatively and from a ballot petition standpoint, can you imagine the chaos that will create? And let me just tell you, there's precedent in the election about pot for that happening, and it was there here in this very state. On the same dawn, the dawn of the same eve that we legalized medical marijuana through a ballot petition campaign in 2008 in this state. We got the signatures, we got the money, we got it on the ballot. It was 66% voted in. 66% of people voted for that law. At the same time, that very same group of people that pulled that ballot lever, that filled in that circle to legalize marijuana for medical purposes here, to provide protections for patients and caregivers. At the same time, the principal person that was rallying against, there'll be pot shops everywhere. There's nothing in this law that says that you can't have a pot shop. They'll grow up like, they'll be like pimples on a butt. They'll be like freckles on, Aunt Thelma. Everywhere on the map, pot shops, says Bill Schuette, candidate for Attorney General. So we elected him at the same time that we elected the pot law, the chief guy against the pot law. How strange politics are. Oh, and people laughed. You got your pot law in, and you elected the same guy that was the guy that put all the money to rally against, put commercials on about anti-pot. And then as soon as he got in, instead of saying, there's nothing in this law that says that you can't have a pot shop, now it was 180 degrees the other way. There's nothing in this law, now that I'm the Attorney General and you guys voted this in, there's nothing in this law that says you can have a pot shop. There are no legal pot shops, according to this law. You got to get it from a caregiver or a patient. It's got to be through the registry. And if we catch you doing, if we catch you so much as passing a joint between people, that is provisioning, and we are going to bust you for violating the act, the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act. And that's the same thing that will happen on a federal level if we let it get there. Don't do that. Please don't do that. If you haven't registered to vote and you have an interest or a stake in this subject, I don't care which side of the fence you're on, you better get your butt down to the place where you can register to vote. And there are lots of them. Principally, don't they have the motor voter law? I mean, wherever you go to register your license, update your driver stuff. Wherever you go to do that, you can register to vote. You can go to your local township hall and register to vote. Your local place of polling, register to vote. I don't care if you don't care about the presidential candidates or you don't care about who's the senator or they're all crooked. They are all crooked. Money's the bad influence. That's beside the point. If you don't go out and register, you can't sign any of these ballot petitions. You can't elect this law in. We need your help. It'll be awful, though, if we go through all that effort and then you at the same time elect in people that will cut this law into Swiss cheese. Use it as a sword instead of a shield. Ultimately, it needs to be rescheduled. We're a long way off, realistically, from looking at that happening. So say the tea leaf readers. All of them agree it's 10 years off rescheduling marijuana. And while they might be accurate in my estimate on that number, I think also that at the same time, there might be room for dealing with this in another way. There's such thing as a split schedule. They can redo that schedule. They can do that any way they want to. Are they going to deschedule it? Are they going to lower it in numbers? Probably not. They might make a separate schedule for it. From a medical standpoint, they did it with heroin. Heroin's Schedule 1. The other, subclasses of heroin, your opiates, your pain medications, your anti-addiction drugs, all come from opiates. They all come from the poppy plant, which is the chief producer of opium, and that's where opium comes from, is the poppy plant. There's a split schedule. All those things that they make as pharmaceutical drugs that they derive from the opium poppy are lower on the schedule. They're Schedule 2s. They're Schedule 3s. They still have a Class 1 schedule, Schedule 1 for the opium poppy itself, for raw opium, and for heroin. Coming back on the other side with something funny. Hang on.
You're getting the full melt.
Introducing Sacred Elements, a place for natural and alternative healing for the mind, body, and soul. Sacred Elements. It's one place, all solutions.
Alkaline water, herbal remedy, essential oil.
Sacred Elements.
Natural and organic shampoo, lotion, pain cream, bath salt.
Sacred Elements.
Beeswax candles and handmade crafts, canes and walking sticks, artwork, jewelry, and repurposed goods.
Sacred Elements. Next to the Sweet Leaf, 400 South Dordt Highway, Flint.
11 to 7 daily, closed Sunday.
Call 810-259-2570.
If you're like us, your pets aren't just animals. They're members of your family. Pet Pain CBD hemp oil drops are great for aging as well as active dogs and cats. Some people are apprehensive about hemp treatments for pets. They ask us, what are you smoking? Absolutely nothing, and neither will your pet. Like other hemp-based products for humans, the allure is all of the benefits of cannabis without any of the high. The CBD oil has shown to rejuvenate the bones, joints, brain, stomach, eyes, and heart. And the drops contain absolutely no corn, wheat, soy, artificial colors and flavors, or preservatives. Pick some up today. Visit PetPain.com or ask for Pet Pain at your local pet store. PetPain.com. CBD relief for your pet.
It's not easy out there, but it can be easier. And when it comes to medical marijuana in Michigan and chronic pain management, Dr. Bob Townsend, renowned for his patient advocacy and deep understanding of how patients and medical marijuana certifications fit together, makes it his hallmark to educate and provide the best holistic treatment for your condition. His knowledgeable staff makes you feel warm and welcome. And Dr. Bob makes you feel well. With locations across the state in Cadillac and Gaylord, Kalamazoo, Marquette, Mount Pleasant, Muskegon, Saginaw, Traverse City, you can't beat the convenience and feeling you get knowing you have someone on your side that cares. Denali Healthcare is on the web at denalihealthcaremi.com. Get answers to your holistic health questions or schedule an appointment now by calling 989-339-4464. Chronic pain management and holistic health answers is what they do. It's all they do. DenaliHealthcareMI.com. Get your certification and peace of mind now by making an appointment with Dr. Bob Townsend at 989-339-4464.
Get the beach bong ready for sunshine and sandy beaches in Negril, Jamaica this November as the High Tides Cannabis Cup moves from Amsterdam to the Caribbean. Your trip starts with the absolute best rates on airfare, hotel, events, and all your Cannabis Cup travel needs at TravelCannabisCup.com. Come stay with us, relax in the sun, play in the sand, and smoke down with the cool people, man. Get to the High Times Jamaica Cannabis Cup. Best travel prices right now at TravelCannabisCup.com.
Get growing with GrowMax. Indoor, outdoor, beginner, or a warehouse full of Gavitas, probiotic organics, or huge production with Max Power Monster Aeroponics systems. We can help you rock it. YouTube GrowMax with 2 X's. Customer service is why we're blowing up. And I'm Dave. My cell number is 906-221-2111. We also specialize in electrical and HVAC and new double-ended bulb technology. 906-221-2111. Get growing. GrowMax.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
That's right. You can hear us from 7 until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday at thefullmelt.com. Also, it's really easy to subscribe to us. If you want to get the subscription via iTunes, go to thefullmelt.com. Right there at the top of the page, find the iTunes link and click on it to subscribe. That's simple. There's this big story, and I think it's a big story. I think it's an entertaining story. If this was CNN, I'd be Janie Moose talking about this story. We'll talk about it before the next commercial break. Not after, but before the next commercial break. The idea that it's so funny to me. It's so funny. So you got to remember, D.C., the heart of the nation's capital, also the heart of the Prohibition Department, the DEA and all. The Department of Justice, all those little evil minions, has legalized marijuana in the district, the federal district, much at the besmirch of Congress. Oh, there are pissed off legislators. You did what? You did what? Nope. We're kind of like the mayor. We can override the mayor. We get enough people together. Nope, we're taking it away from you. They found their way around. They've wormed it around. Oh, you can grow marijuana there. You can sell it there, but not in a shop. I guess maybe you can't sell it to each other. I guess everybody can have it and they can grow it. What is this going on in D.C.? It's legal there. They got shops. There are pot shops in D.C., I'm just going to tell you. So the D.C. mayor and the D.C. people, the people that live in that federal district, it's not a state, remember, it's a federal district. It's the only one we have that's like this. It's the people in D.C. get to vote. It's very strange in D.C. Very strange place there. You ever been to D.C.? I'm sorry. I can't even get it out because it's just funny to me. The people there said, you know what? Screw you. We've got legal marijuana, and we're gonna have a pot growing contest at the state fair. That's right. I got blue ribbon weed. Got me some blue ribbon right here, buddy. We'll talk about that story in a minute. Welcome to the weird world of legalized marijuana. This is from the Seattle Times talking about all the... There's people making money. That's right. The government's making money. But it's not just... You have to not just count the money that's made in marijuana tax. That's just the core of it all. You could say it's the tip of the iceberg. The rest of it all lies below water where you can't see it. It's all there, though. It's just as big. It's just as mighty. It's just as cold. It's just as dangerous. The iceberg is mostly below the water, right? This is that iceberg. the money around marijuana as a legal product. Here's the story by Evan Bush, Seattle Times staff reporter. Welcome to the weird world of legalized marijuana, where the cast of characters as novel and interesting as the product that they've crazed enough to sell. Entrepreneurs include a World War II veteran born in 1921 and a University of Washington student born in 1993, plus felons, dreamers, and a cupcake queen. Then there's this bizarre trio, a 79-year-old nationally ranked bird watcher, a 36-year-old surfer, and former Seahawks star Marcus Trufant, who together own a pot shop in Lacey, one of the state's more than 150 and growing recreational marijuana stores. It's always messy to build something from scratch. About half of the small businesses fail within 5 years, according to the U.S. Small Business Administration, and few face as many complications as the marijuana industry. Taxes are steep. Laws and rules for the strictly regulated business have been in flux since the state's voters legalized pot in November of 2012. Some cities and counties have banned businesses. Many can't get access to banking, although unlikely. If the federal government changes its mind on pot, it could shutter businesses and press felony charges. But those bold enough to launch into this uncertain world see a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where others balk at the risk. Lex Lemieux, a felon convicted of selling drugs, seeks vindication. Pot nearly took everything away. Now it could set up his family for good. Evan Cox and his wife Charity, both high school and college dropouts, see pot as a means of upward mobility. Jody Hall, the founder of Cupcake Royale, wants to reshape pot culture. They're all just getting started, but what a long, strange trip it's already been. Les Paul Lemieux crosses the Yakima River several times a week to deliver marijuana. There's really no way to avoid it. For Lemieux, the river reminds him of a different time. When the DARE program was in full swing, the president wouldn't admit to inhaling, and dealing pot could land you in jail or worse. But he feels a connection with the river. It's where his baptism into the world of men took place. The way Lemieux tells it, in 1997, he slept with a woman named Wendy, making a fellow drug dealer jealous. Later, he heard a rumor. The whole thing was recorded on a nanny camera. A nanny camera. Court records, though, don't tell a Shakespearean story of jealous lover. Instead, the documents describe Lemieux as arriving at the drug dealer's house with a duffel bag filled with 30 pounds of marijuana. Another man, a former high school classmate, greeted him by thrusting a pistol at his sternum. The men ordered Lemieux to the floor, tied him up with a speaker wire, blindfolded him with a T-shirt, and stuffed him into a duffel bag, and then into the back of a vehicle. When they turned the ignition, Lemieux says he knew he was inside his Jeep because Soundgarden's album Down on the Upside fired up in his cassette player. The dealers drove for hours while Lemieux begged for his life. They threw him into the Yakima River, still bound, but out of the duffel bag, and left him to die. According to court records, Lemieux floated down the river until he snagged a branch with his chin. He managed to break the wires around his feet and crawl back to the shore and up the road. A passing driver contacted police. When officers arrived, Lemieux, his hands still tied behind his back, was hysterically yelling, "They tried to kill me!" A sheriff's officer reported Lemieux was hypothermic, vomiting, and had ligature marks on both wrists and ankles. Wires. My old nemesis. Make him uncomfortable. Memories can trigger post-traumatic stress disorder now, he says. These days, to ease his mind, he smokes marijuana. He sells it, too, in the legal market now, but we'll get to that later. Lemieux has softened a bit with age. He no longer wears steel-toed boots. I thought if I got back into scrape, I think it's supposed to be shape, I might be able to kick my way out. Now he'll follow up a text about a pot deal with a photo of his 10-year-old daughter's community theater costume. Lemieux is a relic from the black market. Other eager entrepreneurs started out in medical marijuana's gray market. Then there's Evan Cox, who began his business during the heady time, when Seattle cops stopped caring about pot. When voters approved legal marijuana, they left a gap. Legally, you could possess pot, but not sell it. Cox, a high school dropout with floppy dark hair, espresso-colored eyes, and a scraggly beard, seized the moment in what he calls a questionably legal business model. That's a generous description. Cox and a friend spent about $5,000 on marijuana and advertised on Craigslist. I really treated it as a business, answering every phone call, fixing mistakes, calling people when you're late, he says. Soon he couldn't keep up with Shoreline College coursework because his phone buzzed so often. He dropped out to focus on his business, Winter Life Delivery. The company's clever social media presence, brazen illegal model, and critter code names, Cox's Possum, drew media attention. First, the Capitol Hill Seattle blog wrote about Winter Life. The Stranger and the Seattle Times followed. King 5 ran a segment. Each time we could literally... Oops. No, no, don't play that. No, don't play it. Stop. I was going to try and play a related video on me. I didn't want to play the video. Each time we literally doubled in business, he says. Cox, whose frankness made him a media darling, says at its peak in the summer of 2014, he employed more than 60 people. He says the company earned more than $4 million that year. Then he shut it down. When legal stores opened last summer, Cox reckoned he'd worn out his welcome as an illegal delivery service. He feared the Seattle Police Department, which had publicly said Winter Life was not a priority, might change its mind. Plus, he didn't want to cut into the business of legal stores, his future customers. We started seeing the writing on the wall. We always knew we were filling that gap, Cox says. If we were running around making money hand over fist and the stores were under heavy regulation, that would not reflect well on us. In November of 2013, at his wife Charity's urging, Cox applied for a license to process marijuana. After closing Winter Life Delivery, they spent months converting to a tool shop in Seattle's Lake City neighborhood to make edibles and oils. They received their state license last December. Evan and Charity face fierce competition in the nascent marijuana market. Jody Hall, who founded Seattle's Cupcake Royale 11 years ago, has partnered with one of the state's best-selling edibles companies, DB3, to launch the Good Ship Company, a line of marijuana-infused baked goods and confections. She brings the same Instagram-ready sensibility to her pot products as she does the cupcakes she sells in 6 Seattle stores. Hall had spent 11 years at Starbucks before she started Cupcake Royale. She understands how to engineer food and is politically connected after campaigning for marriage equality and health care reform. Although she doesn't have marijuana industry experience, marketing comes naturally. Marijuana makes her feel like I'm more open, she says. I have more creative ideas. It makes me laugh, declutters the brain. Now that it's legal, Hall wants to marry marijuana with art to form a new culture. She's leaning on members of Seattle's arts community, like Greg Lundgren, to help. Hall hired Lundgren, who owns Vito's Restaurant and Lounge on First Hill, to direct a series of bizarre photo shoots with Seattle's luminaries on the Good Ship. To be on the Good Ship is Hall's language for getting high. To be pre-boarded on the Good Ship is to show up at an event stoned. Hall and Lundgren are planning a field trip series for people who are pre-boarded. Art crawls, museum tours, and even sports. And she's organizing a TED Talk-like series called The Good Ship Academy of Higher Education, where people can speak about their passions with a pre-boarded audience. The idea was to break away from the idea that you get stoned and you sit and watch TV or eat a whole cheese pie by yourself, referring to pizza. Says Lundgren, the Good Ship is trying to really establish what being high is about and looking at it from a way of evaluating human experience and the way we interact with art, with technology, with each other. Where the Good Ship seeks to manufacture a new pot culture, Evan and Charity Cox lean on their roots for their renamed business, Winter Life Cannabis. We carried over what brought us here, the critter names, explains Evan, referring to the animal code names for each staffer. Save for the purchase of a dune buggy, a motorcycle, and trips to New York, Evan and Charity bet all the money made in the illicit market on the legal one. We're starting over, Evan says, totally different business model. At the point they closed the business, Evans said I was sitting on $750,000, and it took that to get my license. On a spring visit to Winter Life, the company said It has a hive of activity. The Kingfisher, who would not divulge his full name, extracts THC from cryogenically frozen marijuana using alcohol. Tubes carry the mixture to a glass globe that rotates and heats it. In an adjacent room, Andy Wyrick, the crow, feeds baking sheets through a machine that rhythmically drops the dough. Ben Patton, the star-nosed mole, loads each sheet on a rack. They bake it about 1,500 cookies later. A single cookie fetches about $12 in stores. Charity the Owl runs the company's creative department in an unrenovated part of the building and leads a discussion about social media strategy. The company's marketing materials and enticing retailers use Winterlife's new ordering system. It's boring. Add a few ties and you could mistake it for a meeting at Boeing. Charity says she's working her dream job. Marijuana might be her chance to do more than survive. This isn't going to happen again in her lifetime, she says. She dreams of a career life free, hanging out in the Central Park in Manhattan, wearing 5 different hats and painting dogs, she says. Marijuana could be my ticket. Like the Coxes, Lemieux and his family are putting together their chips on the new marijuana industry. He started his own marijuana sales company, Moon Bay, out of North Bend town home earlier this year. A Washington map dotted with red pins hangs on the wall, each pin representing a pot business, potential clients. On a dresser, Lemieux hides a double-bowled marijuana pipe underneath a model pirate ship. The pipe is a gift from business partner William J. Clinton. Yes, his real name, Andy inhales. This story goes on for quite some time. It's a very interesting story. I mean, I haven't probably read you half of it, if I have. Check out the article at seattletimes.com. What it highlights for me is the idea that it's not just the money being made in taxes. For every person that's employed at a pot shop, for every person that's employed at a new business that is doing the business of testing medibles, of testing cannabis products, labels, packaging, engineering, equipment, supplies. All of these people contribute to the cannabis community. All of them. Not to mention the growers of equipment, the equipment of growers, the whole indoor gardening industry. That alone represents a huge employment increase. And for each of these employees is collected taxes, employment taxes for the city, for the state, for the federal government, for the Social Security Department. If you want a healthy country, stop placing these workers in jail. Stop placing them in a place where they can't make this money, where they can't contribute to society. Stop labeling them as felons where they get out and can't have a job. It's good for the country. It's good for the economy. It's good for people. And although I told you I would get to this story before the break, guess what? It's going to have to be after.
You're getting the full melt.
Got something to hide? Canalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Canalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Canalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at Canalock.com. Visit Canalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
Imagine a world where patients can use marijuana like any other medicine. The Marijuana Patients Organization challenges the status quo by helping our neighbors to enjoy a better quality of life. Visit the MPO at marijuanapatients.org and enjoy informative articles, engaging debates, and information about treatments, doctors, and dispensaries in your area. Over 50,000 people have registered at marijuanapatients.org since 2010. Join us at the Marijuana Patients Organization today, marijuanapatients.org.
Hey, it's Steve Green for the Sweet Leaf in Flint, because now getting safe access to medical cannabis patients in Flint, Michigan is never more welcoming. Presenting the Sweet Leaf, a brand new patient experience bringing 12 carefully selected caregivers housed in 9 separate offices to distinctly assist you with their knowledge and reputation for excellent patient care. Classes and training coming soon in the large community room. Check it out in person, 400 South Door Highway, or call 810-259 810-259-2571. The Sweet Leaf Center in Flint, 810-259-2571.
If you're like us, your pets aren't just animals. They're members of your family. Pet Pain CBD hemp oil drops are great for aging as well as active dogs and cats. Some people are apprehensive about hemp treatments for pets. They ask us, what are you smoking? Absolutely nothing, and neither will your pet. Like other hemp-based products for humans, the allure is all of the benefits of cannabis without any of the high. The CBD oil has shown to rejuvenate the bones, joints, brain, stomach, eyes, and heart. And the drops contain absolutely no corn, wheat, soy, artificial colors and flavors, or preservatives. Pick some up today. Visit petpain.com or ask for Pet Pain at your local pet store. Petpain.com. CBD relief for your pet.
Introducing Sacred Elements, a place for natural and alternative healing for the mind, body, and soul. Sacred Elements. It's one place, all solutions.
Registered, licensed, certified, ordained.
Sacred Elements.
Massage, hypnosis, Reiki.
Sacred Elements.
Raindrop, aroma and color therapy, body detox, ministry, life coaching, weight and nutrition counseling.
Sacred Elements. Next to the Sweet Leaf, 400 South Dort Highway, Flint.
11 to 7 daily, closed Sunday.
Call 810-259-2570. It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
Radio show.
I hope that I have time to tell you about Puffapalooza and another event happening up north. If I don't, forgive me. We can only squeeze so much in a show, and although that last article is a very interesting one, it was also lengthy, so I apologize for that. Listen, some of the funniest stuff that I saw in the news all week so far has landed on the front page today. The story that I saw today is about this D.C. thing. D.C. State Fair will have a marijuana growing competition. That's right. I want to play dueling banjos. I'm gonna see if I can find it while I'm talking to you because I just think it's funny. This is something that I've thought about for a long time. You know, it's the agricultural end of business that ends up at the state fair, isn't it? I mean, let's face it. What do you have if you're entering something in the state fair for a prize? It's going to be something like livestock. You know, you got your goats, you got your pigs, you got your chickens, you got your bunnies, you got your geese. I mean, there's all kinds of livestock, horses, cattle. Got my prize bull here at the fair. I can't play the dueling banjos. I tried to download it while we were in break. It didn't work so well. It's been 5 months since marijuana was legalized in D.C., and now there's a public opportunity to show it off if you've been letting that liberty take root. The D.C. State Fair, a seemingly Pinterest-inspired event showcasing the culinary, artistic, and agricultural talents of the district, is adding a marijuana growing competition to its lineup of events this year. The Best Bud category now joins the fair's growing list of competitions, which already includes the honey contest, the home brew contest, the knit and crochet contest, the funkiest looking vegetable contest, the pickled food contest, and more. They have a pickled food contest. I want to check out the pickled food. The fair also adds a pet parade for the first time this year. But I'm sure that's not the top of the news, is it? Now that it's legal for residents of the district to grow their own plants, we wanted a way to highlight this new freedom while also showing off the agricultural talents of the district's people. Anna Tausen, a board member and outreach director for the fair, wrote in the email, the event is held each year in September. D.C. State Fair is a nonprofit run by residents. Each submitted marijuana plant will be judged based on 4 categories. Here we go. Appearance. Is it well manicured? Does it have trichromes, which are those little sparkling crystals? Odor. What does it smell like? Does it have a sweet, spicy, or murky smell? Touch. Is it sticky? Does the stem snap or does it bend? Number 4, your story. Did you grow your plant organically? Did you use artificial light, natural light, or a combination? Was the plant grown hydroponically or in soil? All this information and anything else you would like the judges to know should be included in your story, in the Your Story category below the in the registration form. Participants must submit one small bud, about 1 to 2 grams for their plant, in a small mason jar. The buds will not be judged on how effectively they can get someone high and what type of high they trigger. Judges will not be sampling them because Tauzin said the fair will be adhering to the law, and it's still illegal to smoke marijuana in a public space. The D.C. Fair will be held September 12th at Shaw's Old City Farm and Guild, a public space on the 900 block of Rhode Island Avenue Northwest. The judges have not yet been selected, but Tauzin assures they'll be experts of the product, and I'll bet that they will. Got my prize bud at the D.C. Fair inside me. Cute. See you tomorrow on The Full Melt Show.
The Full Melt Show is a production of TFM Media.